Guys, let's do another video. It's been a little while. So, pool table's in, and we've got all this baby stuff and furniture we were able to get from Emma's family, so that's cool. New fresh stock of tools. My tin is open again, so we can get whatever the hell we want. We've got some solder and the rectifiers in this big box here. So there's like a strip of 15 of them. I only need like one part, so I'll snap that off, and then the other 14, God knows what we'll do with it. But yep, so we'll be able to do that probably tomorrow while Emma's not here. Set up a wee soldering station. Bunch of metal. Got some hinges to fix this door. Current project is to put the hose up and mount that, so we can do that right now. Emma's been doing all of this, getting in the garden. We've got a wee lancewood we want to plant, but this is the new whip, and we figure we'll gravel this so I can park that up here while Emma's is in the garage here for a bit longer. The other thing we plan to do is I've taken a lot of the debris out from this. But this bottom plate on this pole here is also just rotten out as hell. So I want to actually get the shovel, clear this out, and concrete this in. Maybe make like a step along here and then concrete that, because that's at a higher level, because that's what that bit of concrete there is doing. But yeah, so that's another plan that we'll be doing in the next week or so. Getting the shovel out. We're going to be cutting some of these bushes down, freeing this mailbox up a little bit, because it's full of bugs, and probably do that at the same time that we get a little bit of gravel. We'll put a little bit of gravel around under that. So that's what we're up to at the moment. We've also got a whole bunch of stuff to do up in the baby room, because the plane has showed up, so we'll get into that maybe tonight. But alright, for now, let's just mount this. So I've already drilled a couple holes, put a couple screws in, but it's nowhere near enough to hold the weight of this thing. So I've got a couple of bolts here. We'll throw them in with the impact wrench, little hose to connect it up, and a little adapter. It turns out there's a few different sizes of these, so I guess I got lucky and got the right size this time. So yeah, let's do it. So once again, just make sure that the length of your hole matches up with how deep you actually need it to go. I've gone with the extra long ones here because the wall's thick enough for it, and there is a shit ton of weight in this hose, especially when it fills up with water. So I've got these two in. They were the two that we saw before, and then I've started these four. So I'm just going to take this and ram it through as deep as we can. These are 0.5 millimeter bigger than this, which means that it will carve out its own channel as it goes through. So that's what we want. Cool, so that's in. This is where the chuck of my hammer drill and rattle gun sort of burned its way through. If you're ever drilling next to walls with paint on them, that's something you've got to be especially careful about. But this thing, I don't give a rat's ass, as they say. So now we grab this thing, mount it, slot that through, and then do all the other connections. So there's Emma going hard. Cat skitzing out. She's doing well. So we've gone with a brass one here instead of a plastic. We just screwed that on. Looks like we've got another on off here, but this is our main water line. Comes in from that Toby, we might remember. There's probably a little bolt through the bottom here to stop it from coming back up, but I'm not too worried. This'll be good. So I just tested it and it works, but there's a lot of water coming out of this thing here. It turns out it's this. It's not the quick connect side. That's good. It's coming out of the one place it's supposed to, not from around this edge. So one thing I'm going to do one-handed of course, is you can take the bung out of the inside and flip it over if it's starting to get worn, because it gets worn in certain places. So I'm going to take that out, probably get a little terminal driver and flip it, and tighten this back up, and we'll retest it and just clean all this up. This thing is a stick in there before. So yeah, so that's one thing you can do. Quick and easy, reverse the bung. So we're going, we're still leaking something fierce. So, so yeah, might just need to get a new one of these, because that just screws onto the side of this. Or we just leave it and accept a little bit of loss. I don't know. I don't think it's too crucial, to be fair. So we might need it at some point, but it's just a nice to have. I don't know. Oh yeah, and it's avoided me having to find any other outdoor tap, because I don't think there is any anywhere else. So take all this stuff inside, and next project. You struggling?
All the branches are twisted. It's like you cut one and you can't actually pull it out because it's all fucking looped around another branch.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to like go straight up one side. You don't want to get rid of all of them, do we? Want some of them still. So we've come through with the saber saw, trimmed it down that edge, trimmed it all away from the mailbox, and cleared this bit up. And it's amazing how a little bit of work, how long a little bit of work can go, how far, whatever the saying is. Shut up. We've just got all that debris though piled up down here, sort of on top of where the old hedge was. So we have to get a trailer some stage and figure that out. But that'll be fine. That'll come. We had a pitchfork snap its handle on us, so new one got from Mega 10. It doesn't have the weld between the fork and the handle, so just one solid piece. So might as well get a good one, because we're definitely going to need that a lot more. Yeah, you got your lance wood in yet?
No.
No?
I gave up because I was getting bored.
Okay, righto. So anyway, that should still give us a bit of privacy around the corner. Emma's dream kind of thing is around this back edge to have a little herb garden and a little veggie garden along these terraces. So that's going to be cool. When time permitting, obviously. We also noticed a whole bunch of spider webs on that camera, so that's something I've got to do today is get a broom, swipe them away, and sync the cameras to our phones so that we can actually see the footage from our phones and hopefully easily scroll through the playback and actually do the IT side of that particular task. Because there was a burglary in Blaketown last night, and within the last week a couple burglaries in Cobden I've been told of. So yeah, people getting desperate, I suppose. So better make sure our security is actually up to scratch. Righto. It's easy to get distracted, isn't it? Right. We'll figure out the next thing. And just another little reminder that that roof is leaking real bad. This is definitely getting some moisture in it. So it'd be great to rip this out, but we've just got so much stuff in here now. We don't have use of that shed down below either yet. Don't have the container on site yet for that project either, so I can't even use that as temporary storage. And as you guys can see, like, while there is some space, it's not really space you can use. Even up here, like tables, chairs, speakers. So yeah, not sure what we'll do. Right, while we've still got daylight, let's do an outside job, because I've been wanting to put this padlock on this thing for ages, and well, just haven't been able to, because the door itself is shit. So this hinge down here is broken AF, and this one is here too. This one looks a shitload longer than the one I got. I got a 300mm heavy duty one, but But yeah, so let's take the whole door off and we'll assess the condition of this wood here, and whether we need to replace that or not down below, because that's looking like it's got some shit on it. So there might not be enough material down there to do anything how we planned. So big old screwdriver, and I'll take these out, but they're all full of rust, so we'll see how we go. I might just end up grinding this off, but yeah, so there we go. Now, just because I don't know if I've ever even shown anyone anything under here, so that looks like it's holding stuff up. That's a power point that just goes straight through this tin. There's like pallets kind of thing for the walls down here. A whole bunch of glass bottles that we've got to get rid of. This router table that we said, yeah, no, you can leave that here in case I ever actually get around to like refurbishing it. Because, yeah, well, it's not going anywhere. Just need to get a motor in underneath it, I think it was. But, yeah, so I guess this was probably one of the main, like, hot box rooms where they just fucking chaff it up. I mean, like, some real weird stuff on the walls around here. Yeah, it's not exactly a nice place to be in, so who would hang, I don't know. Anyone else got any other ideas, then feel free to hit me up, but we've got a window, I suppose. And yeah, so this is directly below the flat where all of our stuff is. So this is how much space is below there, how much the hill must drop away. So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, we've got all this stuff here that we're going to use for firewood. Just cut that up one day. Interesting to see what we can be able to use this space for, because at the moment I'm just thinking like it's going to be, you know, wheelbarrow, lawnmower, the garden tools, but don't want to leave any of that shit down here if we can't even secure it because the door is fucked. So yeah, just thought I'd show you that. So doors off. It's got a handle, which is fine. I don't care if this handle actually like latches or not, as long as you can push and pull. I don't intend on that actually ever working. Just push and pull once you take the lock off. So the wood for this lower hinge looks okay, but we're still got to take it off. And this bit of frame here is perfectly fine up top. You can see how they've just got these massive bolts into the concrete to keep this bit of wood here. But down here is the problem. That's just rot. There is nothing there. Well, there is something there, but it's shit. So, what are we going to be able to do there? I have an idea. So this bit of wood is 1700 long and 100 by 50. Were, you know, 2x4. So I'm sure amongst all this trash, or even the treated stuff that I used as the struts, because that's the right size and we'll get a good length out of that, I'll be able to use these bolts once again, because I bought slightly too many for that project. So now if I just grab some of this, trim it down, I can replace that whole bit of wood. And why wouldn't you? Why not? Might even have a piece here. So I've just taken the nuts off of these bolts that are in there to take this bit of wood off, and I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, not much left of that one. Shit, that was just barely on down, and that was the one down low, so that makes a lot of sense. Well, so now I'm going to get a builder's pry bar, shove that in, hammer, and crack it off the wall. If I can, because I've already cut this piece to length, I'll just measure up and drill. I don't have a Forstner bit, but I might be able to use this to make my hole just part of the way into the wood for the nut, and just get some new nuts instead of having to drill new holes and everything. Then again, I've already got those there. We'll see what happens when we crack this off. How gone it is. You getting over it, eh? You getting over it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
There's too many bulbs.
Too many bulbs?
Yeah, like these ones. Like
Big shitty, grassy, sprouty, shitty things.
Are they from these little plants here?
Yeah, those ones, and like
Anyone in the comment section know what the name of this is? I mean, I think it looks like the honeysuckle that you see once in a while, but maybe that just grows in between. Let us know. Let your anger out.
Yep.
Do it.
It's a good stress relief.
So you can sort of see just how little there is left on these bolts. There's no thread whatsoever. They're rusted as shit. And a few, well, about 100 slaters. They always look like there's so many. So yeah, I'll get a grinder, nib them off, and you can see just why this was a great idea. Because there is nothing down here to actually hold the store up. So 1000% needed to be done. So I'll clean that up and be back in a sec. But for now, that's another bit. Go on the firewood pile. So just doing this, and it's working out a treat, because normally these sort of bits, they use that front part of the thread there to grip onto the wood and pull through. But because I've already pre-drilled that first hole, it's not pulling through, and I only have to put as much pressure as I want to get as deep as I want. So that makes this part easy. About there? I don't know. That's going to recess in there? Yep. Perfect. So, I've got my bits. 17 for this. I don't know if you should put rough, coarse, or Malfoy tape, your terminology of preference, behind it for a vertical thing like this, but I've got shit tons of it. Like, don't have a lot of other use for it, so it might as well. It can't hurt. Whether I actually need it or not, I don't know, but it's there, so why not? So yeah, I got Emma to hold this up, pre-drilled my holes, whip that in. Shouldn't take too long at all. Check out this giant spider Emma found. Like, it's my hand for reference. Like that, it's a big boy. Well, you found some pretty other interesting things in here as well, haven't you, Emma?
Yep.
What have you found?
So I found a multi-box. A lovely condom wrapper.
Yep, you get those.
Pretty standard. And
some garden shears. Yep. There are the two handles that I've taken off of the door. That's on, nice and solid. Looks good, it works. And we're just fitting these new ones on, figuring that out. I've never hung a door, and apparently that's like the thing to tell if the builder's any good, is their ability to hang doors or not. So yeah, as long as the hinge is this way, I think we'll be fine. You can see the outline of where the old one was, so this one is shorter, but it's also quite a bit thicker. To be fair, the top one wasn't too bad, could have probably reused that, but you know, this came in a pack, 2 for $50 pretty much, so might as well just do this. Always check your screw length as well. I was a little worried that these would be way too long, and they kind of are. Very, very close. So I've just put one through there now. It hasn't come through the other side, but yeah, very, very close. It's getting real hard. Not having all the screws and nuts and bolts and brass this and washers and things that you just need in general. I mean, you buy a jar at a time so that they're there when you need them next time, but just knowing, or just having it, and then I don't even have anything organized in there. Getting pretty tired of it. Be good to organize that sooner rather than later. So one day we'll be able to use that thing, and then we will be sweet. Can't wait. So we're losing daylight and pretty quick, so I'll get these on and get this up and make sure it closes. I mean, those hinges did come with this pack of screws, but I almost never use the screws that come with anything because you find they're a lot smaller. They probably would do the job, but they're not as thick, so they're less of a heavy gauge. Yeah, I suppose I've got my favourites. So for this sort of the bigger, heavier stuff, much prefer these tech screws, the hexagonal head tech screws. I know they're good for outdoor use. I know they'll last a long time, and they can take a lot more weight than the things that come with it. You'll find that with almost anything, like hanging TVs or anything. Yeah. While I haven't necessarily done a lot with doors, I have enough experience to know that if you're by yourself especially and you're screwing it up or taking it off or down to plane an edge or anything, it always is good to get a bit of wood or something and chuck that underneath the door itself so it's sitting off the ground. I've seen one builder has like a little foot pump thing. Yeah, blow it up and that will keep the door yeah, off the ground, because obviously a door isn't actually on the ground when it swings, but holding it up, because it's quite heavy and awkward, and especially when you get that first screw in, it can be a nightmare. So I've got one bit of wood under there at the moment. I don't think it's thick enough because I'd like that to be higher. I mean, I could screw it there, but I'd like the door to sit off the ground a bit because might be some mud or some grass grow under there over time. And less of a gap at the top is definitely better. Less chance for rain to get in as well. So we'll get another bit of wood instead of the one I've got, move it up, screw it in, jobs are good. Just like that. So that looks nice. I could eventually, because it's starting to rot down that edge too, I could eventually replace this side as well, but for now I'm not worried at all, as long as this door is up. I will need to do something on the other side to put this padlock to be able to actually lock it. Maybe even just a hole through with a chain or something real rudimentary. But so easy. That's what we're after. Easy. And even that gap is pretty level at the top, so that means it's actually sitting nice. Cool. Oh no. You can see one of those screws go straight through there where this bit of wood's fucked for that hinge. And I know this isn't exactly DIY related at this point anymore, but my plan tonight is 10-litre soup pot and make myself some pumpkin soup. So that's going to be nice. It's going to be nice because winter's coming up. But yeah. Oh, and here's all of these springs from the inside of this bit of mattress here. It's snaked around from one side to the other. Emma made a nice start on that, so there's the end of it at the moment. But Dad's also just offered us another brand new couch, with 2 sets of couches and a dining table and a whole bunch of chairs. And I'm like, well, we don't even have a dining room. I don't know where we're going to be able to put a giant table. But the 2 couches look pretty nice, so we might get them over and then maybe just take out that one altogether, making all this work redundant. But I still like to kind of keep the corner stuff set up, but yeah, might just end up being a waste of cable ties. I don't know. A lot of wastage going around at the moment. Right, soup time. Salt and cracked pepper. And our first batch of pumpkin is cooked and soft, so that's nice. Emma's made a lolly cake over here. So roast the next batch, cut the skin away, and move on to the next stage. And we have the second lot. So fry that up, separate the skin off just like I have for all that, and get this underway. So onions are translucent now, so all the aromas are starting to come up, which is good. We'll give it a little tip to put a bowl of water in here with like a slice of onion in it, and that's a good way to get rid of the dead smell. since I boarded it up, a lot of the smell's gone, but every once in a while it's still a little bit there. So I'll chuck this in here now and finish cutting the rest of that up. And then some stock. So all this is a bit hard to do with one hand, so we'll just do it. I actually love cooking from scratch. Something real satisfying about taking some raw produce and turning it into something just tasty. So I put that whole box of stock in. Probably have to reduce this down quite a bit now. Not sure, but it shouldn't take too long. But yeah, so we got like 1 3/4 of a pumpkin in here because I did a roast meal for Emma's family down in Alexandra, and apparently there was only 2 of us at the table that actually ate pumpkin, so that was a bit of a faux pas, but that's alright. 2 or 3. So we'll do that. We've got some nutmeg, cloves, and cinnamon to throw in there. And we have some cream. Now, whoa. What the hell is that? That's one hell of a lollycake there, Emma. Yeah. So this is going to turn out well. I've got high hopes. And we even bought ourselves a stick blender specifically for this kind of thing from the warehouse today. So cool. So yeah, just even after the hard bit of stirring, that is still, that's not as like mashed. Okay, I'm gonna need to add quite a few things to that. So a bunch of water. We'll go a litre of cream. Mix that through and see how it turns out. But best thing about water is you can always, or liquid, evaporate it out. It's one of the few things you can like take out of anything when you're cooking once you put it in. So we'll do that. Grab the stick blender, give it a whiz because still some massive chunks in here. Yeah. And yeah, once we've got this to a nice consistency, we'll throw the rest of those flavours in and then let it just simmer for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. God damn, I need to get another PowerPoint on this side. So, use the thing, it worked good. It's like perfect consistency now. Sort of less puree and more an actual soup, but it's still nice and thick. These don't seem to be doing a lot, but maybe I just need to wait. Yeah, maybe I just need to wait. Add some more cinnamon. I don't know. Season to taste, they always say. But yeah, loves it. Got to record stuff there, but we've strained it all because I was sick of the little bits of the tiny bits of onion that was left, and the tiny bits of garlic and stuff. And we've got 2 massive containers. Should be cool enough now, so we'll transfer them to the freezer. But yeah, turned out a treat. So we'll leave it there tonight. We'll get into doing a whole bunch more DIY tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you around.